Hello everyone, I'm Sebastian Y, and this is Foundations of Economics. In this video, we're going to talk about gains from trade. Before we get into the example today, consider a person who is completely self-sufficient. This would mean that that person would have to make their own clothes, grow their own food, and build their own house, do everything that they need on their own. This state of total self-sufficiency is what economists call autarky. In the modern economy, this is not very realistic. Most of us specialize in something and pay other people to do the things that we are not so good at. I'm happy to specialize in teaching economics and buy my clothing in a store. We can also extend this idea to entire countries. A country that is in autarky produces everything that it consumes within its own borders. But not every country is the same. Some countries have different resources than others. Just as it is beneficial for individuals to trade with each other, it can also be beneficial for countries to trade with each other. When is it beneficial for two countries to trade with each other? We're going to talk about this in the context of an example where we have two small island nations, Santa Maria and San Lorenzo. We'll assume there are only two goods, bananas and rum. Suppose that Santa Maria produces only rum and San Lorenzo produces only bananas. Clearly we can see here that there could be a beneficial arrangement made so that both countries could enjoy both goods. We could take this a step further and consider the case where both can produce both goods, but Santa Maria is better at producing rum, San Lorenzo is better at producing bananas, and so we can again see it's clear that some beneficial arrangement can be made that would help out both countries. But the most interesting case is, what if one country is better at producing both goods? Is it still possible to come to a mutually beneficial trade agreement? We are going to show that it is through an example. Suppose that in Santa Maria it takes 8 workers to produce a unit of bananas and 12 workers to produce a unit of rum, while in San Lorenzo it takes 5 workers to produce a unit of bananas, 10 workers to produce a unit of rum. We can see here that San Lorenzo can more efficiently produce both goods than Santa Maria. In this situation, we say that San Lorenzo has an absolute advantage in both goods. Next, we are going to draw the production possibilities frontiers for both countries. Next, we will assume that both countries have 120 workers. Let's draw the production possibilities frontier for San Lorenzo. If San Lorenzo wants to produce only bananas, how many can they make? Well, we know that they have 120 workers. It takes 5 apiece, so 120 divided by 5 is 24. If they wanted to produce only rum, 120 divided by 10 is 12. The PPF is going to be a straight line between these two. Note this is not bowed out like the PPFs we did before because we can smoothly substitute our workers across both goods. Let's do Santa Maria next. If they produced only bananas, they would get 120 divided by 8, which is 15. If they did only rum, they would get 120 divided by 12, which is 10. And their PPF is going to be a straight line between those 2 points. So I'm going to label these. Always remember to label your graph. So this is going to be the Santa Maria PPF, and the blue one is going to be the San Lorenzo PPF. If there's no trade, these countries will select a bundle along their PPF, and that's what their country is going to consume. Suppose that Santa Maria's preferred bundle is this point right here, where they get 4 rum and 9 bananas, while San Lorenzo's preferred point is this one right here, where they get 6 rum and 12 bananas. Nothing we've said so far has allowed us to determine the preferred point, so I just chose these arbitrarily for the sake of argument. Now we want to consider the possibility that our two countries will trade with each other. We might initially think that, well, San Lorenzo is better at producing both goods, so how could they possibly benefit from a trade? In order to see this, we need to reframe our cost for goods in opportunity cost. I've drawn up a chart here where we are going to put in our opportunity costs. Let's think about Santa Maria first. If we want to go from, say, our preferred point right here and get 2 more rum, how many bananas do we have to give up? We can see here that we have to give up 3 bananas for every 2 rum. So our opportunity cost for rum is 3 halves bananas. Going the other direction, to get 3 bananas, they have to give up 2 rum. So the opportunity cost for bananas is 2/3 of a rum. We can see that the opportunity costs are always reciprocals of each other. Let's do San Lorenzo's next. One way to see this might be to start up at our point of making only bananas. They could get 6 rum, going down to this point right here, by giving up 12 bananas. So the opportunity cost of 6 rum is 12 bananas. The opportunity cost of 1 rum would then be 2 bananas. 12 divided by 6. Going the other direction, for every banana we want to get, we're going to have to give up half a rum. Again, you can see these are reciprocals of each other. Where previously we talked about absolute advantage, we're now going to think about what we call comparative advantage. Comparative advantage simply means which country has the lower opportunity cost for a good. Looking at bananas, we can see that San Lorenzo's opportunity cost of half a rum is lower than Santa Maria's 2/3 of a rum, so they have the comparative advantage. Going over to rum, 3 halves is lower than 2, so Santa Maria has the comparative advantage in rum. We can also see this on the graph by noticing that Santa Maria's PPF is flatter than San Lorenzo's. This means that comparative advantage is going to favor the horizontal axis good, and the steeper one is going to favor the vertical axis good, bananas. While it's possible for one country to have the absolute advantage in both goods, as San Lorenzo does here, it's impossible for one country to have the comparative advantage in both goods. Which country has the comparative advantage in which is going to tell us which country should specialize in which good if the two countries decide to trade. Let's suppose that the two countries came to a deal. San Lorenzo, since they have the comparative advantage in bananas, they are going to produce all bananas, and similarly, Santa Maria is going to produce all rum. Now let's suppose that San Lorenzo trades 10 of those 24 bananas over to Santa Maria in exchange for 6 rum. They're going to have 14 bananas left, but they're going to have 6 rum. That's going to leave them somewhere about here. You can see that San Lorenzo is now able to achieve a bundle that they would not have been able to before. So that's a good deal for them. Santa Maria is trading away 6 of its 10 rum, so they're going to be left with 4, same as they did before. But now, remember, they traded that for 10 units of bananas, and so you can see that they are also at a bundle that was not achievable before as well. Both countries have the same amount of rum that they had before, but now they have more bananas. Both countries are better off. How did I come up with that rate of exchange of 10 bananas for 6 rum? To benefit both parties, the rate of exchange needs to be between the slopes of our two PPFs. San Lorenzo is buying rum with bananas, and every rum is going to cost them 5/3 bananas. Normally, if they were to produce it by themselves, each rum would cost 2 bananas, so this is a good deal. Going over to Santa Maria's side, every banana they buy is costing them 3/5 of a rum. Normally, it costs them 2/3 of a rum. So again, this is a better exchange. So both parties are going to benefit from this trade. Put another way, if we look at just our rum opportunity costs, we have to be trading somewhere between 3/2 and 2 bananas for every rum, and 5/3 fits right in there. The last thing we'll do with this is to create a production possibilities frontier for the combined economy of the two countries together. As before, we'll start with the intercept points. If both countries produce only bananas, Santa Maria produces 15 and San Lorenzo produces 24, so 15 plus 24 is 39. If they produce only rum, Santa Maria can produce 10 and San Lorenzo can produce 12, so they can get a total of 22. At this point, it might be tempting to just draw a straight line in between these 2 points, but it's not quite that simple. The reason for this is that we can now specialize resources. Suppose we start over at this point where we're only making bananas. If we were to start making rum and giving up some bananas, which country's workers would we ask to produce rum? The ones who have the comparative advantage, which are the ones in Santa Maria. Since Santa Maria has the comparative advantage in rum, we would always want to use them to produce rum first, before we even considered using the San Lorenzo workers. If we shifted all of Santa Maria completely over to rum, then they would produce 10. They're producing no bananas, so that's only San Lorenzo producing bananas. We know that they can do 24. So our point of complete specialization happens at 10 rum, 24 bananas. We are ready to draw the PPF by connecting these points. It's a little bit hard to see on the graph here, but it does have a slight bend in it, so that once we hit 10 and 24, now we are going to shift over to using the San Lorenzo workers, shifting from bananas to rum, and so it's going to steepen because the opportunity cost has become higher. This is precisely where the bowed out shape of the classic PPF comes from. Imagine having not just this one bend, but lots of bends along the whole curve, and you're going to get that bowed out shape that we're used to. If each country specializes in the good in which they have the comparative advantage, then the combined economy is going to be producing at the kink point. Let's compare that back with the old autarky point without trade, where they produced a total of 10 rum and 21 bananas. We can see here that our old preferred point is within the new PPF, and so it would be inefficient. We can do better by specializing and trading with each other. Just to underline the point here about the bend in the curve, the slope over here is 3/2, and the slope over here is 2. It's a little bit steeper. And these two slopes correspond with the slopes of our two individual PPFs that we had before, where the slopes were, again, 2 and 3/2. That is it for specialization and gains from trade. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks for watching.